Okay, this is Nintendo Power for February 1994, Volume 57. Nintendo Power, Volume 57 for February 1994. On the front here, you see Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage, a whole cast of Looney Tunes characters, new Metroid comic. You see $3.50 for US, $4.50 for Canada. And here you see Bugs Bunny running and somebody trying to erase him. We'll get to that. You see the source for news and strategy straight from the pros. Here you got get a friend into something besides trouble. Get them into the Nintendo Power Super Power Club and you'll pick up 4 Super Power stamps. All they need to do is fill out this form. Interesting. Here you have February 1994, Volume 57. So 1994, the Super Nintendo's been out since 91, 92, 2 to 3, about three years now. 4 years actually. No, 3 years. So you have game reviews. Once again, you have cyan color for your Super Nintendo. Game Boy is purple, and NES got one NES game, Zoda's Revenge, hanging on there. Page 90. Excited to see that. You have Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage, Young Merlin, Sky Blazer, Inspector Gadget, The Sports Scene, Lester the Unlikely, and Choplifter 3. Here's an ad for Super Power Club, Game Boy Take It Anywhere, and there's a snowboarder with a Game Boy. Hey Annie, I'm here. Sorry, I had to get everything set up. Okay. On the back, okay, here's Player's Pulse. You were hoping for a pizza? Well, I don't have a pizza. So we are looking at Nintendo Power February 1994, Annie. You see Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage is on the front. Here we go. Player's Pulse. This is where kids could write in and get their letters published and Nintendo would respond. So let's read a few. This is from Jay Barton from Hiram, Utah. Jay writes, on the back cover of a few of the issues, it shows a Super NES in a black block of ice. Did you really freeze the Super Nintendo? I'd love to know. Nintendo Power answers, Jay, the wonders of special effects and photography tricks. The answer that you're looking for is no. The block of ice is actually just a plastic shell. It is way cool though, huh? Okay, here's something from Joshua Spitz from Proctorville, Ohio. During the blizzard of 1993, I built an igloo that you could stand up in. But I didn't look much like an igloo, so I converted it into Dr. Wily's castle from Mega Man. I don't know if you can see it down there. Probably hard to see, but it's decent. I mean, he kind of just has his feet for the Dr. Wily's castle. He carved the skull on the top. Thanks for the photo, Josh, but you forgot to map out the route for us to find Dr. Wily. Here's one from Floyd J. Turner Jr. of Whitting, Indiana. And Floyd writes, I must tell you this. Although my case might be rare and isolated instance, your game systems have truly saved my life. You see, I am a 34-year-old and for almost 20 years I was addicted to drugs and alcohol. 3 years ago I went to a treatment center for help. A counselor told me I needed something to occupy my time with, so on a whim I bought an NES because my brother had an old Atari 5200 that I used to play. The NES seemed superior. Well, that's all it took. I was instantly addicted again, but this time to video games. After a year, I bought the Super NES. Every spare penny and every free moment goes to my video games. I would advise anyone, young or old, if you even thought about trying drugs, forget it. All of my game systems and game packs are a whole lot cheaper and bring much more pleasure than any drug. Also with drugs, when you die, that's it. The end. With my Nintendo systems, I can die 100 times a day, but I can always hit reset. Here's a top 10 list. Top 10 reasons for losing a life in a video game. From Alex Fernandez of Victorville, California. Number 10, I've never played this game before. Number 9, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Number 8, my dog was playing with the cord and he unplugged it. Number 7, my little brother tried to snatch the controller from me. Number 6, someone walked in front of the TV and I couldn't see. Number 5, I had to pause to answer the phone and it broke my concentration. Number 4, the difficult is set to impossible. Number 3, it's my favorite level and I want to play through it again. Number 2, really, I'm just warming up. Number 1, the computer cheated. Here's a living in Mario's world. Kathy White from Pickering, Ontario sent in this photo of a bedroom that's straight out of Super Mario World. The whole room is painted this way. How would you like to wake up finding Bonsai Bill in your face every morning? So she painted her whole wall with that picture from the first level in Super Mario World. I think it's the one on the right from Yoshi's house. Or left, with Bonsai Bill and there's a Koopa Shell. Pretty good, actually. Good job. Good job, Kathy White. Mike Gallagher from Kingwood, Texas writes, Warning, warning, I was using an unlicensed product to clean my Super NES and I was shocked to find that it broke a contact where you put the game pack in. That's a lesson I won't soon forget. I'm guessing Nintendo made that up. Or who knows, maybe Mike Gallagher really did. Editor's Corner. Gail Tilden, Editor-in-Chief. Our new Super Metroid comic series debuts in this issue. Even though we all knew that Samus would make a great lead character in an action comic series, there were some difficulties. The biggest concern was trying to figure out what Samus actually looks like without her helmet on. We've all seen the best ending of the Metroid games, but it's hard to visualize facial features from that which we finally came up with is something between Princess Leia and Ripley from the Alien series. Enjoy the comics. Here we go. Cover feature. Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage. Get ready to feast on graphics and gobble up the outrageous action when Sunsoft's Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage is served up on your Super NES. It's the best Looney Tunes dish so far, featuring the smartest varmint ever to munch a carrot, plus most of his crazy friends. What's up, Doc? One of the classic Bugs Bunny episodes features Bugs Bunny being hounded by a demented animator who can't seem to get rid of his cartoon creation no matter what fiendish obstacles he puts in the way. That's the story behind Rabbit Rampage 2. Each of the stages, the 10 stages, has been cunningly constructed to bag bugs, and they're all based on scenes and characters from the Looney Tunes cartoons. All Bugs has going for him is a helping hand from Acme Company products that lie scattered throughout the Demented Domain. If Bugs can outsmart all the hunters, Martians, big bad wolves, and worse, he may just find the mastermind behind this harebrained scheme. Bugs is a rabbit of a style. He shuns the tried and true methods of fighting video game foes for the hilarious pratfalls made possible by those mechanistics magicians at Acme who would suspect that bull's eye tossed on the ground would cause a 2-ton safe to fall on the spot, or that a turkey with sputtering fuses might blow up in your stomach. Ha, only Bugs is that clever. Armed with tomatoes, cream pies, anvils, toy tanks, jars of jam, and the odd bomb or stick of TNT, Bugs can wreak hair havoc with the best ninjas, commandos, and alien fiends. One of the most useful inventions of all time is the Acme Place saving arrow. This remarkable device, once activated, brings Bugs back to the point where it was dropped. Oh, that's what that does. Okay. The carrot represents your health. I was wondering what that arrow did. Wabbit hunting, level 1-1. Bunny the Kid, level 2-1. A lot of bull, level 400. Level 1.3. Bugs Grim. Bugs in Space. Tasmania. Mech Rabbit. The Champ. And stay tuned, that's not all folks. Bugs must still hop through a mysterious old house full of black cats, Sylvester and the enormous Pepe Le Pew, then do a battle with the master of disguise Daffy Duck. Only then will our hero character discover who is the mad cartoonist behind the sketchpad. Young Merlin. Much has been written of Merlin, the magician of Arthurian legend. Virgin's new SNES version of the story takes us back to the days of his youth for an offbeat adventure with some interesting twists, such as thought bubbles that give players hints about what to do next. So here's the map of Young Merlin. They hand drew it. When young Merlin tries to save a damsel in distress who has fallen into the river, he is swept away by the swift current. He watches up unconscious in a strange new land. Where he wakes up, Merlin brushes himself off and sets out to explore the enchanted forest around him. Unaware that his tiny eyes of the Shadow King, many minions watch him closely from the shadows. The evil Shadow King himself rolls from the underground palace, sending the little meanies to do his dirty work. Merlin learns magic spells, as he explores and is given passwords by the mysterious and legendary Lady of the Lake, who appears when he accomplishes noteworthy feats. As he explores the strange new land, Merlin talks to animals, meets up with villagers, and ventures to unlikely places beneath the earth and underwater. Merlin finds all sorts of useful tools and helpful spells as he explores the land. Merlin gets some air in the mine shafts. Bored heads have nothing on this legendary lad. Rainbow Falls, Meanie Tree, Snarlroot. You see all the areas here listed. I don't know if this is an RPG. This is more of an adventure game, huh? Looks interesting. It has dungeons and everything. I might give this one a shot. I have this one. Defeat the first mini with the shooting star, then throw the jewel into the Rainbow Falls to get the stun disc. Freeze the flowers and continue to the Thunder Pig Meadow. Skyblazer. This is the follow-up. Sony ImageSoft, I think, did this. They did the game Hook before this, and this is pretty much feels like Hook, but they improved upon it. It's its own like kind of IP and adventure. It's a pretty decent game. It's a platformer and has a world map. Good graphics. East of Mode 7. Plays very much like Hook. Here we go. Inspector Gadget. I think this was Hudson Soft published. If you guys ever saw the Inspector Gadget cartoon, it's really big over here in the US. Hudson Soft, yep, brings the bungling Inspector Gadget of the syndicated television fame to Super NES in a 6-stage, mostly side-scrolling action game that pits Gadget against the agents of MAD. The brain power behind the bad guys is none other than the insidious Dr. Claw. The Inspector can only take 2 hits before floating off the investigative unit in the sky, so it's a challenging play. Wario Land 2 is a good platformer and it had no world map. Wait, I thought it had a map. Didn't it have that like grid kind of map with the different, like it was a grid with your different paths and stuff? Where you, like at the beginning you could not wake up and that was a path? Gadget investigated tools. Starting out, according to Chief Penny, is being held in a haunted English castle. And in this ever so dark, gloomy, and stormy night, as the inspector sets out to rescue her, before Gadget picks up any of his specialty tools, he can only jump using the B button, punch using Y, and throw plungers using A. It has a level select, but there is no worlds, so no... Oh, okay. I guess it's more of a grid select. The Haunted Castle. Stage 1. Stage 2, the Clock Tower. Stage 3, the Amazon. Stage 4, the Ancient Incan Ruins. Are you familiar with Inspector Gadget? I have this. I should try this. I tried it, but I needed to clean it. The Egyptian Pyramid. Stage 6, Dr. Claw's Hideout. Sports, we don't need to do this. Sports, don't care. Sports, if you like that. Brett Hall Hockey, sports. Monday night, any night. Sports. Lester the Unlikely. The adventure begins. Meet Lester. He's a typical nerd. He stoops over when he walks, flails wildly when he runs, can't throw a rock, and wears horn-rimmed glasses. All in all, Lester is the last person you would expect to be a hero, let alone the main character of a video game. One day, while reading his favorite comic book, Lester wanders onto a dock. He decides to sit in the shady spot and soon dozes off. Little does Lester realize that he has fallen asleep next to a cargo crate, and soon he is picked up and taken out to sea. Bad luck turns worse, and Lester's bride is attacked by pirates. The ship is sunk, and Lester swims to shore on an uncharted desert island. The story begins when our hero, with a question mark, awakens on the beach with a soggy comic book and no way home. Visual Concepts and DTMC have teamed together to bring you an action-adventure unlike any other. They have taken the smooth animation of games like Prince of Persia and Flashback and used it to place a normal guy in outrageous situations. Outstanding graphics make this game a must-play. Did you know that they only made Inspector Gadget Show because they had a license problem with Lupin III? Is that true? Interesting, I did not know that. Choplifter 3. Gateway Getaway. Nintendo Gateway System. Getting there can be just as fun as being there when you travel with the latest Nintendo system, the Nintendo Gateway System. The system offers travelers entertainment, convenience, and planning information all in the easy-to-use interface. Currently available on some international Northwest China Air and Virgin Atlantic flights, the Nintendo Gateway System offers 10 video games, movies, and a duty-free shop service. Other services will come online soon. Versions of the Gateway can also be found in hotels and in the near future on board cruise ships. The Gateway combines a version of 16-bit Super NES with a controller and interface that lets you choose from video games, movies, and audio CD recordings, phone shopping, and information. The interface aboard the planes comes with a huge Avacom International, while the information services to be delivered in hotels and aboard cruise ships comes from LodgeNet. Each seat on the Gateway plane has an LCD screen and a controller. The Gateway links each passenger to a host computer that downloads games to the Gateway or switches to other entertainment and information sources like a VCR to play a movie of your choice. The Gateway controller, which contains the familiar controls from your Super NES controller, also acts as the controller for all passenger services and requesting help from a flight attendant. Since space is a premium on planes, all the components that normally fit inside your Super NES control deck has to fit into a 3.5-inch square that is 1 inch thick. To accomplish that miraculous feat, the engineers at NOA have used many new parts. They also had to work with a different power supply that called for more efficient components. The most obvious difference between the Gateway system and the Super NES is that you can't plug a game pack into the Gateway. Instead, the game programs are downloaded into 2 megabytes RAM random access memory. That's enough memory to hold a massive 16 megabyte games that are becoming more commonplace. Another consideration was that the Gateway had to be able to interface with equipment. So that's it. If you had a flight, you had basically an LCD Super Nintendo on the back of your seat, which you controlled with this little remote. You could order stuff, play Nintendo games on your flight. Games to be offered initially on the Nintendo Gateway system: Super Mario All-Stars, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Street Fighter II, NCAA Basketball, Super Tennis, Super Play Action Football, Super Soccer, T&E True Golf Classics Pebble Beach, Super Mario World, and F-Zero. Here's a picture of a guy enjoying it. Hey, I got no patience. Richard, how are you? Good to see you again. Sad, yeah, the sad Pokemon. No, this is. Oh, we're getting close. We're in 1994, Richard. We're getting close. Lupin the Third is from the Castle of Cogonestro, right? Castle, is that what it's called? I've heard of them. Why is there music playing in the background? Well, I wanted music playing in the background. I mean, yeah, we're soon to have, hello, Ninja. We're soon to have a happy Pokemon full world in about 4 more years. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. Hope you had a great weekend. One day Brian will finish Heart Gold. I did finish it. I got credits. Okay. Tips for Alien 3. Super Baseball 2020. Run Saber. This is a fun game. Change colors. Oh, that's interesting. He's changed the colors. Oh, it just changes the colors of your character? Super Turrican. Sim City. Metal Combat Falcon's Revenge. That's a Super Scope game. Alien vs. Predator. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Battletoads Double Dragon. Here we have Super Metroid, the comic. Chapter 1, Red Alarm. Zing, zhish, arg, yow, no, ya. Ooh. Samus wakes up, it must have been a dream. What a dream. 5 a.m. Another day, another battle. She opens up her apartment door. Creak. Samus Aran is my name. I'm a bounty hunter. Shh. When the Galactic Federation is in trouble, they call on me. A while ago, I extinguished 2 big threats. It was my fighting finesse and the power suit that made me protector of the galaxy. Free, shrish. She gets in her ship. Zoom, she goes off. Yeah, you didn't know Samus had an apartment? She did. I didn't either, but we know. We know now. The space pirates of Zebes created an army of powerful Metroids. I obliterated the threat and was rewarded for my efforts. Am I reading this correctly? I obliterated the threat. After my adventure on Zebes, an even larger group of Metroids was discovered on SR-388, the Metroids' home planet. The Galactic Federation called on me to destroy them once and for all. The leader of the army was a mass of gray matter known as the Mother Brain. These Metroids were stronger than the ones on Zebes, and they had a new leader, the Queen. Oh, I suppose. Okay, I read that wrong. These Metroids were stronger than the ones on Zebes, and they had a new leader, the Metroid Queen. After I finished off the Queen, I discovered a hatchling. Since I was the first creature it saw, it thought that I was its mother. So they're telling the events of Metroid 1 here and Metroid 2. And she got, we pick up when she was in her apartment and she got the issue for Super Metroid. This is what happened. So this is your lore, how she started on her adventure at Super Metroid right here. She woke up at 5 a.m., got in her ship, and zoomed out. And she's recapping her tales. Bee-oo, bee-oo, the colony under attack. Bee-oo, bee-oo, zoom, zoom. The colony is under attack, and I think I know why. There it is. I turned the hatchling over to the space colony. Zoom. The lab is going up in smoke. She rushes into the lab. The hatchling. Scourge of Zebes. It's Ridley. Ridley has the Metroid. Da-da. Boom! It's been a long time. Not long enough. The Mother Brain will reward me handsomely for this prize. You won't get away with this. You may have beaten us once, but never again. Now say goodbye to your precious colony. What are you talking about? I've programmed the main computer to self-destruct. Soon this place will be nothing but junk. Sayonara, Space Cadet. It's been a blast. Boom! Pow, 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 pow. Ha 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 ha. Here we go again. Banzai! The main computer. Access denied. Access denied. The colony will self-destruct in 100 seconds. The countdown begins. No! 100, 99, 98, 97. What are you doing here? No time to explain. Samus, let's go. Houston! Hurry, get to the ship. 90, 50, we're out of here. Kaboom! Whoa! I guess that evens us up for the time I saved you on the asteroid belt. Let's not make it a habit of this. Now I've got to find Ridley and the hatchling. And we'll leave that up into the next issue. I bet you guys can't wait for that. Counselor's Corner for this month, we have Ken Warnock right here, and he's answering tips on Dungeon Master. Why do I keep running out of food? Secret of Mana. Greg Roan. How do I get the girl in Pandora's Castle to join me? If you wander around the area west of Pandora, you'll be captured by the goblins. The girl will sneak into the goblins' camp and rescue you from the stew pot. When you return to Pandora's Castle after the reveal, the girl will offer to join you. How do I get past the lava pool in Gaia's navel? Go to the cave in the corner of the lava chamber and flip the switch with your sword. When you exit the cave, the lava will be gone. Now you can use the tunnel to the south. What does the clue about the seasons mean? Start in spring, where the trees have pink leaves, and walk east to summer. Continue this summer to fall, and then fall to go west to winter. Now return to spring. When you complete the trip, you'll hear an explosion coming from the right. Investigate. The Seventh Saga. I want to play this sometime. Marty Pappas talks about this game. How can I get through the front castle gates of Patrof Castle? How do I stop a feud between Telaine and Belaine? How do I remove the curse that keeps me from using magic? Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Counselor Jean Pierce answers questions about this. How do I get the Flying Rooster? I traded my shovel away. Should I buy another? And here is a artist representation of what the counselors look. Here's you calling, and here's what the game counselors are doing, helping you at their computer. You can write to Counselor's Corner or call them at this hotline to get tips on games if you're stuck. Power Players Challenge. Disney's Aladdin, how many pink gems can you collect? Zombies Ate My Neighbors, what was your highest score? Tetris 2, what is your all-time best score? Secret of Mana, what is the lowest level which you could finish the game? Kirby's Pinball Lands. What's the highest score you can rack up while fighting Kirby enemies? Poll players. All these kids finished Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. All these kids finished Mission 1 with the most points. Here's your most points of Mission 1. Felix the Cat, highest score, 1,000,000, wow. Prince of Persia, most time left after finishing the game. 120 minutes for Greg Leary. He's far and away the highest. Kirby's Adventure finished a perfect game. Metroid 2, Return of Samus, fastest time finishing, 1 hour, 11 minutes. Smart Super Mario All-Stars Report Team. Here we have, for you guys who aren't Richard and Annie, who aren't in America, I'm going to tell you who these guys are. You have Dan Quayle, he was the Vice President of the United States. William Jefferson Clinton, he was the President of the United States. And these kids apparently won something, and they're getting honored with it. Let's find out what happened here. The Super Mario All-Stars Report Team speaks out on issues. What's important to kids? What do they want to do with their futures? Who are their heroes? What do they want to do with their free time? Last fall, representatives of the Super Mario All-Stars Report Team, SMART for short, traveled to Washington, D.C. to talk to lawmakers about the issues that are important to them, and to lawmakers, including President Clinton and Vice President Al Gore. Listened. Earlier in the year, Nintendo of America commissioned BKY Youth, a youth research organization, to find out what issues kids were thinking about as they returned to school. What they found was that kids were generally concerned about their educations and safety and families. When the group got together to discuss issues and develop the Nintendo Kids platform, they identified education, drugs, homelessness, violence, and environmental as issues that concerned them the most. Their collective recommendations about how to address these problems made up the SMART platform. Nintendo conducted a nationwide search to find outstanding kids to serve on the Super Mario All-Stars Report Team, an appropriate name, considering that Nintendo released Super Mario All-Stars for the Super NES at about the same time the search was taking place. Applications included essays, colleges, videos, and audio tapes poured in from kids across the country, and the 9 winners ranging in age from 8 to 13 were selected by the panel of their peers. One representative from each state was also named to a pinch hitter list of honorable mentions. The 5 representatives took a trip to Washington, D.C. Here's the Super Mario All-Stars Report Team. Jesse Keegan of Palo Alto, California. Justin Haynes of Carlton, Texas. Kristen Stolp of Mount Top, PA. Karina Meckel of New York, New York. And Sean Donahue of Southborough, Massachusetts. And here's the team presents its platform to Representative Joseph P. Kennedy II in his office on Capitol Hill. SMART member Justin Hayes meets with Representative Richard Army, who represents his home district. Kristen Stolp presents a copy of the platform to Representative Paul Konjorski in his office. I had no idea about this. Here we got Spider-Man and the X-Men and Arcade's Revenge for Game Boy. An Incredible Marble Team. What the F is up with that bestiality relationship in this game? What game? Oh, you're talking about... Oh, okay, you're talking about another game. Never mind. I haven't been reading chat. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. I'm sorry, I'll look at chat. I'm just reading through the magazine. Spider-Man, X-Men, and Arcade's Revenge. Here's for Game Boy. There's my favorite Wolverine outfit, the yellow one. I wasn't supposed to see that. What? What? Gambit stage, Cyclops stage, Storm stage, Bart and the Beanstalk. I never even seen this game. You guys know The Simpsons was really popular back around this time. And they had video games. A few Game Boy games too. I never actually heard of this one. Look at that level. That looks horrendous. Bart enters the castle. Ah, here we go. Star Tropics 2 Zoda's Revenge. Tetrads in Time. When part-time adventurer Mike Jones clobbered the alien leader Zoda in orbit over the South Seas, he thought that his hero days were over. But in fact, they've only just begun. Mike's uncle Dr. Jones found a puzzle on the side of the escape pod that carries 7 space children. The solution to puzzles will send Mike tumbling through time in search of 7 magic tetrads. This Star Tropics sequel is a must for NES action and adventure fans. What's new? In number 2, an angle on the action. Mike has more mobility than he has in the original Star Tropics adventure. Now he can run, jump, and throw weapons diagonally. And they show a difference between Star Tropics and Zoda's Revenge. Multi-level mazes. Many of the passages in Zoda's Revenge Star Tropics 2 are several floors deep. This change from the original game's single-level mazes adds new dimensions. Now Mike can fall through hidden holes and climb to new heights. Jump. When Mike hops into an action-packed underground mazes, he can really jump. He can leap in 8 directions and change angles in the air. Mike can jump and toss weapons while he's in the air. This technique will serve him well in dungeons that have high-flying enemies. So you got the heart that fills your life, pair of hearts, 2 sections will be restored. Small heart, collect, accumulate 5 of them, you'll earn a heart back. Medicine, use it to restore 5 sections of your heart meter. And try your luck sign. They can either add or subtract from your life total. Chapter 1, Present Day Seattle. Chapter 2, Cave Dwellers. The first boss, Yum Yum. Look at that cute little dinosaur. Cleopatra, you have to restore, give her a pizza. Monster Mask is the enemy there to get your second tetrad piece. 19th century London. Meet Sherlock Holmes. You fight Zoda X. The clone of the original Zoda is one of 3 copies of the creep that are after the tetrads. You met him in the room with conveyor belts that pull you in several directions. Jump continuously to keep from sliding into Zoda X's shots, and fire when you're close. Chapter 5, the adventure continues. You have Leonardo da Vinci, which you carve out of some plaster. Chapter 7 is the Dark Forces in Transylvania. Chapter 8 is in King Arthur's court. Watch for details on the advanced chapters in next issue. Chapter 9, once the last tetrad in Mike's possession is finally... A final battle will take place with the alien forces that have been shadowing our hero. It's up to you to see that Mike is victorious. Chapter 9 in this game is great. It's such a nice throwback to the original Star Tropics. It takes you back to the first area, Sea Island on Star Tropics, with the music and everything. It's a great throwback. NBA Jam prize. Here we go. Top 20, February 19, year of our Lord, 1994. Number 1, Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo. This is for Super Nintendo I'm reading. Number 2, Street Fighter II Turbo. Number 3, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for 26 months. Number 4, Super Mario All-Stars. Number 5, Star Fox. Rounding out the top 10, number 6, Jurassic Park. 7, Super Mario Kart. 8, Secret of Mana. 9, Mario Paint. 10, Final Fantasy II. Lost Vikings at number 19. 18 is Disney's Aladdin. For the Game Boy, Legends of Zelda: Link's Awakening is number 1. Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins is number 2. Mortal Kombat's number 3. Kirby's Dream Land's number 4. 5 is Tetris. Rounding out the top 10 of Game Boy is Super Mario Land at number 6. Metroid 2 Return of Samus, number 7. And Jurassic Park, number 8. 9 is Final Fantasy Adventure. 10 is Dr. Mario. 11 and 12, you got a pair of Final Fantasy Legends games, Final Fantasy Legends 3 at 11, and 12 is Final Fantasy Legends 1. 13 is Final Fantasy Legends 2. Number 20 is the Ren and Stimpy Show. For the NES, top 20, number 1 for 65 months is The Legend of Zelda. Number 2 is for 52 months is Super Mario Brothers 3. Number 3 for the first month on the chart, Tetris 2. Number 4, Kirby's Adventure. Number 5, Tecmo Super Bowl. Rounding out the top 10 for NES is number 6, Final Fantasy II. Number 7, Metroid. Number 8, Jurassic Park. Number 9, Baseball Stars. And number 10, Battletoads. Some other highlights from the top 20, and number 12 is Mega Man 5. Number 11, Dr. Mario. Number 13, Dragon Warrior 4. Number 17, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Number 18, Monopoly. Number 19, Super Mario Bros. 2. And rounding out the top 20 is Mega Man 4 at number 20. Here is February 1994, now playing. Look for these hot releases soon. Choplifter 3, Young Merlin, which we looked at earlier, seems like an interesting game. Hey, Roadtail, what's up? Brain Juice, hi. Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm not reading chat. I'm kind of going through the... You guys understand, though? I'm kind of looking up every once in a while. I found it interesting that Final Fantasy II was in the NES Top 20, however, it wasn't released stateside. Well, that was... Wait, was it in? Oh, yeah, you're right. They put Final Fantasy II on here. I didn't even notice that. That must be a typo, or they had to... Because that never came out. Good catch. I wonder if they were playing the unreleased build. I'm good. Good to hear. Is that Final Fantasy 2 or is it Final Fantasy 4? Final Fantasy 4 was in... Yes. So no, what Rotil was talking about, this is NES. They have for the NES Final Fantasy 2, which would be actually Final Fantasy 2. It never came out here, but they still have it on the NES chart. Which leads me to believe that the counselors or people played it, but it was never released. Yeah, Final Fantasy 2 on the SNES is number 10. Here. That was 4. Final Fantasy 2 for the SNES was 4. But Final Fantasy 2 for NES never came out. Yeah, it is weird. Good catch there, Rotil. Barbie Supermodel. There's nothing really jumping out here at me with new releases here. RoboCop vs. Terminator, Lester the Unlikely, Dennis the Menace. Negatives for Dennis and Menace. The game isn't very engaging and Dennis' character never comes to life. Never comes to life? Ooh. This is... even during their plus for Dennis the Menace, they still take a negative. Listen to this. The game has a good graphics and solid overall play control, although Dennis tends to drift a bit like the Addams Family character in earlier Ocean games. Ugh. Zelda Pooh. Oh, I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah. I like Zelda 2. Alfred Chicken. Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage. Play control is slightly awkward, particularly when jumping between narrow platforms. Bugs Bunny may fall through the edge of objects in certain stages. In some stages. The Real Ghostbusters. Coming soon. Super Alfred or Alfred Chicken for the Super NES. Riddick Bowe Boxing. Nothing really... Young Merlin, Side Pocket, Ranma 1/2, Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage, Dennis Menace, Less Than Likely. Nothing really stellar here for the Super Nintendo. The only NES title is Alfred Chicken. Oh, good night, Annie. Have a good night, sleep well. Disney's The Jungle Book. Virgin Games has been working on 2 games based on Disney's The Jungle Book for some time. One for the Super NES and one for the NES. Both have looked impressive, though earlier development stages. Now that the NES version is virtually complete, however, your faithful pack watcher is pleased to note that The Jungle Book is exceptional in several ways. It's important that Virgin Games has decided to invest their time and effort into developing first-rate NES games. There's been much less NES development over the past year. Yeah, this is 1994, and they're given the NES the short shift in 1994 because the Super Nintendo is out, obviously. As you dedicated NES fans know, but with 30 million NES control decks in American homes, there is still a potential vast market for the quality games. Jungle Book NES is just that. Rob Alvery, the producer of Virgin Games, directed the project and has been a fan of the NES for years. In fact, he has a collection of over 300 games at his home. He told Packwatch that he has always wanted to make a game for the NES, and when the chance came for an NES Jungle Book, he pushed really hard until it became a reality. Blackthorn. That's a decent game. Knights of Justice. Arthur and the Knights of Justice based on the cartoon. Twisted Tales of Spike McFang. Twisted Tales of Spike McFang. Fireteam Rogue. Liberty or Death. This is a Koei game about the American Revolution. Nintendo will have a biggest scoop this month comes from Interplay, the creation of Star Trek: The Original Crew of the Super Nintendo. Producer Alan Pavish of Interplay describes the game as having 3D polygon architecture, but without the use of the Super FX. The wizardry of other recent offerings from Interplay lead this pack watcher to expect the best. There's Star Trek on the Super Nintendo. Nintendo will be having a big first half with titles like Super Metroid and Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball coming out. But there are some less talked about titles as well as last year Packwatch primed some shots of a game called Specialty T-Shot. That game has received a facelift with the popular blowhard character of Kirby and is now called Kirby's T-Shot. It is due for release in spring. I wonder if that's Kirby's Dream Course. Another game reported on this column was Sound Factory, a Nintendo game shown at last year's Shoshinkai trade show in Tokyo. That product, which combines puzzle action and creating sounds and music, has become Sound Fantasy. Finally, the final offering, renamed FX Track, Nintendo's upcoming Super FX racing game, has been dubbed Stub Race FX. Besides Bubsy 2, Fireteam Rogue, and Speed Racer, Acolyte is working on The Matrix Prime, a fighting game with a unique 3D perspective. More exciting news from Koei includes Operation Europe, a World War II war sim, sequels to Uncharted Waters and Aerobiz. Mutant League Hockey from Electronic Arts won't be released until next fall. Did that come out for Super Nintendo? I thought that was Genesis only. Taito has released Super NES games coming up shortly. The Flintstones, The Treasure of Sierra Madrox, game starring Fred and Bonnie, and side-scrolling modern Stone Age antics. They try to prove themselves worthy of becoming the next Grand Poobah of the Water Buffaloes. Ninja Warrior is a final type scrolling fighter, which you become one of 3 fighting androids with superpowers. Beauty and the Beast from Hudson Soft seems to be progressing slowly than expected. Pack-Watch received a very early version of the game, only 20% complete, but what we saw looked good. The players controlled the beast, leaping around. He also roared with the force that stuns his enemies. Trade West is working on a new Double Dragon game for the Super NES called Code of the Dragon, to coincide with the Double Dragon movie this fall. Tarzan from Game Pet Tech. Natsume has a Super NES Championship Wrestling game. Dead East has the second Joe and Mac game. Beavis and Butthead are on the line for future video games with a new developer, Viacom. Rocko's Modern Life cartoons, a game featuring Rocko's Modern Life. So, highlights here: Ninja Warriors for Spring 94, R-Type 3, Winter 94, Super Metroid Spring 94, Wolfenstein 3D, Winter 94, Excalibur, Winter 94, Code of the Dragon, I think that becomes Super Double Dragon, Fall 94, Blackthorn, Spring 94, Kirby Seashot, which might be Kirby's Dream Course. Next issue, Sports Scene Extra NBA Jam. Big 16-page special, Wario Land Super Mario Land 3. Eight great offers from Nintendo. Hey kids, take a look at all this cool Nintendo stuff you can get from specially marked packages of Kellogg's cereal. Make your own Mario adventure on the package of Kellogg's Corn Pops. Paint and paint brushes on one, free and in mail with specially marked proofs of... You can get these Mario paint brushes. Get a Nintendo hat with frosted mini weeks. Star Fox Flight Cap. Nintendo sticker cards with Razer Brand. Money-saving coupons with Razer Brand. Take the Super Mario Kart Challenge on the back panel of frosted mini wheats, Cocoa Krispies. Star Fox Game Watch for Corn Flakes. And that is Nintendo Power for the Year of Our Lord 1994, Volume 50. Let me say that again. That's Volume 57 for February 1994 of Nintendo Power.